Hi, I am going to talk about how to implement sign-in method inside your desktop application. So if you are building something with Electron, then this will be a really ultimate guide on how to implement authentication right inside your native application. The problem with web application and versus the native application is that there is a proper protocol that if you do HTTP and HTTPS, then only you get the access through Google Console and all. But what happens is that if you do from your native application, and since many people can do it, so there is a lot of risk involved. For example, you cannot store the client secret into your native application. So there are a lot of problems involved with it. So the optimal solution is that the website which you have with you, you convert that into a OIDC provider, and that will become the OAuth server for your web application. Sorry, the native application. So this is the flow which I'm going to talk about. So let's get into the video. So I've created a Excalidraw. Like this video I wanted to push yesterday, but I wasn't feeling well. So I just pushed another video and I decided to go and with full energy to explain this video. So let's get into it. So you can see how to implement sign inside macOS. So before I implement and I explain you what exactly to do, I will show you the demo to really understand what we are going to achieve. So right now I have a Next.js project right inside my native application, which you can see Next.js web. So I've started this application. Now I have to go to subclip starter kit. Again, this is the starter kit which I've created. If you have not watched my video on starter kit, please watch it. It will be a really valuable video. Now if you go to sign, it will open the web application, the browser, system browser. So I can say local 3000 API auth response and all. So here I have to do continue with Google because this is a starter kit which again I have built in my 30 days as crash course. So just go with continue with Google and it will prompt this with Google sign in and I will just do Google sign in. Once I have done the Google sign in, it will ask me for consent skin, authorize application. An application is requesting access to your account again. This is my application and if what exactly are requested, OpenID, profile and email like so I will allow it. Okay, now it has thrown me some error and failed to execute. Okay, so this problem shouldn't happen, but this happened right now and this I have to fix it. So I will just fix it before I push to another application. So let me just do this one, and I have another browser which I have tested it. So what I will do, I will change my default browser to Dia, which I have done the testing right in front of you. So let me just go to software and default browser. And if you go to default web browser and if I go to Dia, now the problem shouldn't happen. So this problem actually I fixed it, but I didn't commit it. Maybe that is the problem. Now if I do sign in, it will open Dia browser. So I will just show you my Dia browser. So it has opened my Dia browser and you can see this one. Let me just close this one off. Okay, let me just, okay. You can see that cancel, always open subclip starter kit or open subclip starter kit. So I will just do open subclip starter kit and you can see welcome Samik and you can press log out or you can do anything. So this is the thing which we have achieved. And right now, if you see this error, I will fix it. Don't worry. Like this particular issue will not happen when I have pushed it in the production. So don't worry about that. And once you have given the proper permission, once you have given the consent, like you can obviously skip the consent. There's an option to skip consent as well, but I kept this consent so that you can modify accordingly. So you have seen the demo, you have understood what we are going to do. Now let's get into the demo. So but before that, I just want to show that it stays login even if I don't log out. So if I just press command Q and if I open subclip starter kit again, so this is the event. So you can say it is not logged out, it is login, and we have sent again a user info request from the tokens we have received. So let's understand the later, understand the implementation. So I just close this server and I will just let me do one thing. Let me just throw this error to Claude and I will just ask to fix it this problem. Fix this problem and we will just copy this. Let Claude do its task and we will just focus on what we do the best and it's been the video. So how to get started? So first of all, you need the macOS day one branch. This is the one which you need. So get this branch. I have already linked this in my first video. Again, I will link it here also. Then you need second repo, that is YouTube Simple Starter Kit day 26. So in this day 26, I have implemented MCP server in which I have talked how to build MCP OAuth, and this video, this particular repo will help you with OIDC provider as well. So these two repos you need. If you haven't watched my SaaS 30-day crash course, I recommend it to watch it to understand how I built it, what is going behind the scenes, and we will build on top of it. So let's understand for what we are here, and we will understand how to implement sign-in inside macOS app. So again, you know the best possible way, that is OAuth or OIDC. So I have already talked how why OAuth and OIDC, so that our Google console, we don't have to request our Google console, GitHub console, a lot of OAuth provider to just allow our app. We are creating our own OIDC provider from our web app. So that is how we are working. So we will understand. So what is OIDC? Again, it is OpenID Connect provider. You don't have to get into the complexities. You just need to do what it does. And so this is the application. So what happens is that now, right now, if I'm building Next.js application, it uses Google OAuth for sign-in. So I'm asking Google OAuth to give me credentials of that particular user who has just signed in into your application. So this particular person gives us the ID. Now, if I build the Electron application using Google OAuth, what I have to do, I have to go to Google console, give all the protocol who will be requesting this application. I have to give that client secret to this particular application, and a lot of complexities will go behind the scene because I cannot store the client secret here. So it will first reach to my backend, then it will again share all the tokens and all. So it is a long process. And to skip that, you can just convert your Next.js using BetterAuth application into our DC provider, which will help you to just authenticate directly from here only. So this Electron application is an independent client. It registers itself on Next.js and gives the credential of the user to Electron application by taking the consent form properly. And this is how it communicates. So you don't touch the Google OAuth, and it is completely secure in your backend. So this is what we are doing behind the scene. Now, how to do it? So I prepared again a guide for you. So the first thing you have to do, that is protocol registration. So whenever you are building Electron application, you have to do up your protocol registration. So this subscript starter can be your my application, your own application name and all. So when a user completes an authentication in the web browser, again the Google sign-in, the browser needs a way to communicate back to the desktop web, right? So you have seen this type of login in Figma, in Canva, in Claude. If you do sign in with Google, they open the browser, then they communicate back to the application. So this is how it works. Subclip starter, they and the auth callback. Then right now, I am not sure about what others are doing, but we are doing dynamic client registration. You have two options. Either you can create a public client or you can create a dynamic client registration. So dynamic client registration gives you the flexibility that every application is a own instance. So whenever I'm distributing, for example, if you go to Subclip app and if you download this get for Mac, so this particular version is different for your browser, for your application, again for my application, again for another application. So I'm not doing hard code client ID. I'm just doing dynamic registration. So I don't have to manage client ID, and it will be managed by my server. So app sends a registration request to API OAuth registered. Server responds to the unique client and client secret and all. These credentials are used to specific authentication session. And then we are doing PKCE, that is token rotation. So again, it is managed by BetterAuth, so you don't need to get into the complexities. You just need to understand that we are doing PKCE. And then we are doing browser-based authentication flow. So if you're building Electron application and if you do open URI, it will open a new browser window inside Electron. But in that browser, you don't have your cookies safe for your own website login and all, and it is not secure. It is told that it is not secure. So always open shell.openexternal. So it will open the default browser in your system. And I've shown you the demo. First, my commit was my default browser, and when it threw the error, I converted it to dear. So these are the 4 steps which you have to do into your macOS J1 application and into your YouTube status simple kit. Now, I have already pushed the changes which you can see in the day 2, and in that I have written what changes you have to do. So this is the readme which I have modified. So in the app.tsx you have to do add this type of code, what it does, I've written all this, not me, AI has written all this. Again, the consent page, there are few issues which we will again fix it, and what it does, why we need it. Then auth.ts, like enable OIDC provided functionality in better auth and all. And then we have main.ts, which we have to fix. Then we have preload, like you know how what preload is, what we do with IPC rendered. If you have not watched my Electron 8 minutes explanation on Electron, just watch it and you will understand what is main.ts, what is render. No, so I won't go to that complexity. And this is the architecture over here. Electron app initiates authentication by registering an enemy client. Session browser opens for user authentication to the OIDC provider. OIDC provider, which is my Next.js application, handles user login and consent. Custom protocol captures the authorization callback. Token exchange converts authorization code to access or refresh token, and user info is fetched and stored. Now, there's the important thing you want to say. I don't want user info. I want more thing. I want maybe user subscription data, users personal data which is stored in the database. Now what how to access that? So you can see that I am doing something called this one, http localhost 3000 API auth user info. So I'm doing this one, and it is giving me the response. I'm making this. So it is already like this particular endpoint, this particular code is written by Betterop. But for example, if you are building your own Next.js application, you can just do API auth, then OAuth, not OAuth, API, and then your own particular application, and you can give authorization bearer access token. And based on the access token verification, you can send the user data. So it can again be managed with better, so you don't have to worry about that. So that's why your database, your user data, user table contains something called OpenID. So according to that OpenID column, we link everything. So I know this will become complex. That's why I didn't cover that part. I just covered basic part so that you can understand how OAuth and how SID works. And again, what changes I made, I have updated in the review. So this is the guide which I want to talk about. And let's see whether our issue is resolved or no. Okay. So you can see what exactly it is doing. Check if response has content before parsing JSON. So where are we doing these changes? We are doing the changes in the consent page. So I will do yes, allow edit during the session. And again, we will run the server and we will see the issue. So let me go to settings again. Let me go to default browser and let me do the comment. And let me run the application and let's see whether it is working or not. So I will open subclip starter kit. Okay. So you can see it is already verified. So I will just do logout and I will just do sign in. Now it will open subclip starter and you can see it is working right now. Yeah, ta-da, it is working. So this is the thing which we wanted to do, which I wanted to talk about. And since we have given the consent and all, you have understood all the OAuth process. This is it, guys. This is what I need to talk about. This is what you need to understand. And this is the guide which I needed when I want to start out. Like there was no guide about Electron, how to do Google signing using Betterauth. So I am teaching you this source about how to use modern framework to implement everything in just minutes. So I implemented it in a day. Like there was a lot of through and fro, like there was a lot of hiccups. But I implemented it and I just gave you the source in 15 minutes and all. So this is what you want, and at the same time, it has some security and policies issues which I will resolve when I go for the production. But you can just get started with it. So this is it, and I will see you in the next video with another implementation of macOS Starter Kit, maybe on day 3 or day 4. So stay tuned for that. Until then, take care and bye.